Hello everyone, and welcome to my first video of Civilization 5 with the Brave New World expansion pack, where I will be explaining to you what I think is the best strategy for the early game for Civilization 5. Now, before I even get started, I would like to let you know what my settings are. I'm playing as Portugal, I'm playing on Continent Plus, small map, Prince difficulty, and quick game pace. I recommend that if you're going to use this strategy, that the best way to use it is probably in a multiplayer game with, 4 or 5 other people. It works with less, it works with more, it just doesn't work as effectively. I think that it works the best in this situation right here. So why don't we go ahead and get started with this game. It's been a while since I played some Civilization 5, but I do have a strategy that I think will best suit you for the early game. Now, of course, it all depends on where you spawn in as to what you're going to go down, and I'll explain a little bit of that in a little bit. But, just to get you going at a good pace, I'm not going for any in particular things. I don't think that would be the right way to go ahead and go about this. I'm going to go with a general, standard type of strategy that I think works the best out of all the ones I've ever had. So, we are Portugal. We have spawned in what I think to be a fantastic area. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and settle our city. We're going to research pottery first. We are going to get a scout. We are going to go to citizen management, and we are going to go to production focus, and then we're going to lock the tile we want to work. So as far as it goes for this, when you have production focus turned on, it will, every time your city grows, it will put the new citizen on the tile that's got the most hammers possible. In this case, I actually want this and don't. So the way that I'm going to play this, for those of you who have not already figured it out, maybe you already know this strategy, maybe you're a very good Civ player, I don't know, is when I hit next turn, which I'm going to do in a few seconds here anyway, it is going to clock the food, then it's going to clock the growth, so can I grow, can the city grow that turn, and then it's going to clock the gold, the science, the production, the culture, the tourism, the faith, any of that stuff. And then we're going to go into the next turn. When your city grows, however, it will put down a new citizen, like I said before. So if I have enough food to grow next turn to population size 2, then it's going to be like, okay, it's time to grow, and boom, it's going to lock him in there. And then what's going to happen is, it's going to process those 2 productions. So what I don't want is the city to think, well, let's put him on food, we need more food. And so then, because it already calculated the food for that turn, it would waste the food. So the process that I'm going to use is going to be a little bit specific, but it's going to work the best. And I will give you a better visual once it actually does happen. So we've got a very nice area here, starting in. Building a scout. We got some hills, we got a river. Up here we've got possibly some coast, which could be cool. Quite a lot of grassland, which is always nice. So we got some bison up there. Scout in 2 turns. So for those of you who have never played this game before, if you want to leave any questions down in the comments that you would consider stupid questions, or, like noob questions, any questions that you think aren't the greatest, then you can leave those in the comments, and I'll address them as I get to them. If you also have any just regular old questions, you can ask me. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them, but I can give it a shot, can't I? Boom, boom. Okay. Alright, so we're starting ourselves that worker, like I thought, and now, as you can see, this is what I'm trying to explain, it moved him onto this spot, and it already did the production for that last turn. So I just got an extra 2 production. So before, this guy was going to cost me 7 turns. Now, because I got that extra 2 production, it's only going to cost me 5 turns. So I saved myself an extra turn because I worked that tile for 1 turn. And then now, because next turn I will be able to calculate the food with that tile, I'm going to put him onto the food. If you don't understand that, it's a bit difficult to explain. I'm trying my best to. If you look it up online, I'm sure if you look up like production focus technique for Civ 5 or something like that, if you Google that, you can probably find someone giving you a bit of a better example, or a bit of a better description of what I'm trying to do. So I've researched pottery, and now I'm going to start animal husbandry. I also am going to change my production to a shrine, that way I can try to get a pantheon as quick as possible. This is very important. I want to get a pantheon as soon as possible, that way I don't miss out on any. If I get the pantheon faster than anyone else, then I don't have to worry about, well, I might not get this pantheon in time, because I'm going to be the first one with it, which means I have all the options. The reason I'm researching animal husbandry next is because I will be able to unlock any horses. So if any horses come up on these tiles, I'll get an extra production off them, which means I can work those like it's a stone, pretty much, which will be pretty nice. Now I've also got an extra dude. So now we're at population. Ugh, cannot talk today. Size 3. Alright, we got some truffles over there. Now, what I've been pretty lucky with so far is not running into a whole bunch of other civilizations. I think there's going to be one over here somewhere. I think there'll also probably be one down here somewhere. And I think if we go further to the left, there's probably one over there. This is just an assumption. It is Continents Plus. A lot of weird formations can take place during Continents Plus. I don't actually know what's going to happen. What I am liking a lot here with this spot is the fact that I've settled on a seam line between a lot of hills and a lot of flat ground, which is going to be good. Now, I've got an animal husbandry. Once you have those two, I tend to go towards resources around me. Just be kind of smart when you're doing this one. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of horses down here, which would be nice to have in a little bit, but so I need to get mining, quite obviously. I need masonry, I need calendar, and that is going to cover me quite a while. I also need to get the wheel, and other than that, I should be doing pretty fantastic. So, the question is, what do I got to do first? I'm going to go down mining first, because that's going to lead me to silver being able to be mined, and it's going to lead me towards the tech that I need for masonry. So, I think that is probably our best option in the long run here. I'm going to take one more step forward here. Aha, okay, I found Quetzal. Quetzal is a city-state. And we're going to find out what kind of city-state they are in just a second. Alright, they are a cultured city-state. Not so great. Sometimes you'll find a religious one, which rewards you a little bit of faith, which allows you to get the first pantheon. Very powerful. You can also get ruins that do it, but I think they're even more rare than the city-states. Kurtzel, however, is not one of those city-states. They have already grabbed up some gold, which is a bit frustrating, but I did get a bunch of gold from them because I met them. So a little fun fact for when you find city-states, it's kind of good to go and try to find city-states as early as possible because you get 30 gold for meeting them first and 15 for meeting them second. So you get a bunch of gold if you meet a bunch of city-states. And that's just like a gift for you arriving. It's just like a welcome packet, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Basically what that is. Same concept behind it. There's quite a lot of desert hills over here. And there's quite a lot of coast as well. Alright. Moving the spearman back. Alright, so we're getting towards a worker. And in 2 turns we're going to have mining. Which would be nice. Well, actually we got mining this turn. That's nice. So now that I've gotten mining, I think I'm going to go for calendar, which is going to unlock silk plantations to me. I'm going to try to get back before this barbarian gets to me. Now, barbarians are frustrating. I wish they didn't exist as much as they do. But they do, so there's not a whole lot I can do. Barbarians are really annoying. and they'll take your workers and your settlers, and they'll destroy your trade routes. They get really, really irksome later in the game, so you got to be kind of somewhat careful and try to target those encampments early on. Try to fix that problem quite quickly. So I've started with a farm here, just to give myself a bit of safety while I try to deal with that barbarian. Now that I've gotten that underway, now I will start to try to start harvesting that silk. I have to cut down the forest first, so it wouldn't hurt to start there. I'm going to go with scouting and fortify, and then I'm going to cut some trees. Cut down the trees. Now the cutting down of the trees, for people who already didn't know, does give you a bit of excess overflow production, so it will it'll count towards you building your settler or your wonder or whatever you've chosen. I chose a settler, by the way. Did not talk about that. I'd like to expand as quickly as I possibly can, and that is because contested areas are extremely important to get to before other people get there. So now you gotta pick a pantheon. Now pantheons are important, and I want to pick one that's gonna suit me well. So let's take a look here. I could pick a bunch of different things. I think I could go with God King, which is gonna give me +1 culture, faith, gold, production, and science. And I think that's gonna help me just push things along a little bit in the process. There's not anything super faith good that I can see here. I did see the silver, but the silver will not be worked very often, so I'm not all that worried about it. Alright, we've gotten to our first social policy. We're going to go ahead and pick tradition. When you have the option to adopt, please adopt tradition. It is the best possible policy to pick in the early game, because it gives you a lot of benefits long-term from having a 3 or 4 city empire, and that's probably what you should be going with anyway. It's quite easy to maintain, and it tends to build up a lot of things in a later game, so be prepared for that. So now we gotta look at other things. We've already kind of got all the things we need to improve the tiles around us. I think what I want to go with next is get to the wheel. The wheel is going to unlock this building called the Watermill, which is going to give me +2 food and +1 production. It will cost me a bit of maintenance, but since we're built on a river, we do get a bunch of bonuses from that now, and we will also in the later game. So I'm looking forward to that one. Alright, we got our first settler. We have a full health scout. I think where I want to go is probably somewhere around here. We'll settle next to that, next to another hill. That's looking pretty promising. Yeah. Alright, let's go. Alright, so we're now going to go for another settler, and I know this sounds like, oh my god, you're kidding me, right? You can't go for another settler already, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to start getting a plantation put on top of the silk. We have met, somewhere anyway, we have met the Romans. Now the Romans are a little bit scary. There they are. They get 2 special units, the Legion and the Ballista, both which are good for attacking cities and other armies and things like that. So you gotta be kind of careful. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna settle, whoops, here, on top of this hill. Ah, look, it was beneficial, actually. So I'm going to settle on top of this hill, and I will slowly but surely expand to this incense, as well as this truffle tile, and we should get some profitable things out of that. Unless this barbarian moves. Okay, he did move. I'm going to move to here. I know this might sound crazier, but I'm going to be able to get rid of this barbarian encampment by doing what I'm doing right now. So I think it's going to be a good call in the later game, getting rid of that barbarian encampment now and waiting for it. So this has been the very early game of Civilization 5 with Portugal. I'm going to go ahead and retire this video for now, and possibly come back with an episode in the future. If you want me to make another video, leave it in the comments, like, and do not forget to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in a future episode. Bye!